This is the right way to do it, coming up north, escaping the rat run, escaping the traffic, escaping the M25, and waking up to this every morning. Yesterday, Land Rover handed me the keys to this, their Defender 110 V8. And rather than bumble around some of my local roads, something that I've felt like I've done all summer, I packed a bag, set my alarm for 7 AM, and I've hit the motorway and come here to Scotland. Concrete jungle feels worlds away from the Scottish Highlands, and my adventures over the next 5 days are going to be powered by a 525 brake horsepower supercharged V8. But this time it's different. For the first time on a road trip like this, I'm not limited to the tarmac roads. After a 10-hour drive from London, we set our alarms early for the next morning, knowing we have got one big Scottish bucket list that needs completing. Oh, by the way, I picked up this guy.
Hi guys.
Luke, you good?
I'm very well, Paul. How are you?
Yes, very good. Luke is a videographer who is going to make this trip look sick. But as I said, we're heading to the Isle of Skye, which literally translates to the Island of the Clouds. You've never been before, right?
No, never been, no.
Rather magically, the Isle of Clouds seemed to shed cloud cover the closer we got to the island. And after a rather predictable fuel stop, we set our sights on exploring.
Whenever I tell people that I'm going up to Scotland, usually they ask, oh, you're heading to Edinburgh or Glasgow. Why do people consider Edinburgh and Glasgow the only places in Scotland to go to? This right here is the real Scotland, and we have got the perfect adventure car to do it. The Defender was purely set up for anyone to go anywhere. Finally, up towards the cliffs, behind these caravans, we see a sea eagle. And it's huge! I think what we might try and do is get a little bit closer. He's just come the other side of the cliff and you can see the sheer size of it. The sea eagle, the white-tailed sea eagle, is literally one of the biggest eagles in terms of wingspan in the world. And we've got them as one of two species here on Skye and in the Scottish Highlands. The other one being the golden eagle, which I've actually filmed a video on trying to hunt with Bentley. But we're currently parked at the side of the road, watching it up there. And it is just so much bigger. It's cruising with some buzzards, which are big birds, but you get the size of it. I think we could probably head up there. Look at the cameras. Look at that show.
Yeah,
it's just such a utilitarian vehicle. Right,
this is why you should buy the Defender. Just look at
what, because of the drone fits on the shelf? We are on some pretty ropey farm tracks where the Defender is getting a little bit of a battering, but it's more than capable of taking that because we've just had a glimpse of what I think is a golden eagle. We saw a sea eagle about 5 minutes ago in that direction over there. I've never seen the species like cross over or fly together. The golden eagle can fly at 200 miles an hour. Has the most aggressive talons, the size of a velociraptor's hunting talon, and their talon power is around the same as like 1.5 of a lion's jaw. So like as it grips the prey,
wow,
you ain't getting out of it. And if it hits you at 200 miles an hour, you don't know anything about it anyway.
You don't. We saw it over there, didn't we?
Yeah, it was over there. So we came down this way in the hope
that we were gonna cut it off.
Holy sh!
Hey.
Wow. Less than 24 hours into our Scottish adventures, and I did say that this was Eagle territory. This is where you come if you love the wilderness. And literally above that hill there, Golden Eagle. And we've just come from around the corner where the white-tailed sea eagles were. So 2 species of eagle in less than 5 minutes.
Whilst eagles were on our bucket list, we couldn't waste too much time as we continued north with a heavy right foot, making our way past the store on the Trotternish Peninsula, where this time we were on the hunt for something much, much older. All right, we've bombed it up the east coast of Skye. We've seen pretty much the closest thing to modern day dinosaurs in the form of eagles. And now we've come to Staffin Beach, Slipway Beach, which apparently is one of the most prominent locations to see dinosaur fossils.
There is quite a lot of people here, and whilst I don't particularly know what we're looking at, whilst we've got the photo up there, it's pretty stunning with all of this rock, and I can imagine when the sea comes up, none of this is visible, but it's pretty impressive.
You let me know what you find over there, Luke.
Is that one? Alright, let's have a look.
Could be. We're hoping.
That looks like the picture up there.
Who knows? I'm just
I think we can claim it, can't we?
Yeah. For YouTube we can.
I'm going to take this fit picture and see if it matches up.
1, 2, 3.
I think someone dropped a bowling ball there, and there's the fossil of a bowling ball, a perfectly circular rock pool.
Still reveling in the potential success of not 1, but 2 bucket list boxes ticked, we continued crossing the Isle of Skye under splendid sunshine before calling it a day and heading back to our Airbnb. However, our peaceful journey enjoying a wonderful golden hour was somewhat interrupted by the canoeing version of Max Verstappen.
Are we getting overtaken now?
Oh, what? What's
With a
that?
state with a kayak on his roof. He's been hounding me all drive. We've got an hour and 11 minutes back to our Airbnb, which is just on the outskirts of Fort William, and then tomorrow an hour and a half's drive over to Oban, where we're going to get a ferry to the Isle of Mull and continue exploring. And this is essentially a blueprint of the ultimate adventures in the Scottish Highlands and the Inner Hebrides.
And hopefully we can see a Highland cow.
We need to tick that off our box. We need to tick that box. That was smooth, wasn't it? Now this morning there is some real jeopardy. At the moment we do not have access to the Isle of Mull. Usually you take a ferry from Oban to Craigna. Last night, whilst our cameras were on charge and we were in Fort William having some dinner, the website said that we couldn't get on the island with this car until 4:30 p.m. But then we would have had to have got off the island at 7:30 p.m. And it was exactly the same story for tomorrow. There is one other ferry, but we need to get a pre-ferry to get on the ferry, and the last time I tried that, the pre-ferry was closed, meaning we had to drive an hour and a half around the loch. So today could be a monumental drive, but we have to get on to Mull. The weather has changed, it's looking pretty gloomy and moody, but there are some things on our bucket list that we need to tick off on this road trip. We've just arrived into Fort William and I've got a smile on my face. We've just seen this digital board that said Corran Ferry on. The last time I needed that ferry, it was off. So it looks like we're going to Mull. We left our Airbnb approximately an
hour and a half ago, and we are now at our second ferry crossing of the day. And it's a 15-minute boat ride. I can see the ferry leaving Mull now, and it is covered in cloud. The entire island looks dark, gloomy and mysterious. I can't wait to explore it in the Carpathian Grey Defender. Now, the last couple of days have been great in the sunshine, which is so rare for these parts of Scotland, but now the Defender can come to life, and I've got a funny feeling this is when the trip really starts. Cannot wait to get over there, but just taking in all of the sights, every bend, every undulation of tarmac, it's just picturesque. And even looking down there, such a special part of the world, and the fact that you can drive here from London or Birmingham or wherever you live and come up here, yes, it's a long drive, but my God, is it worth it. I have no idea what we're doing at the moment, but this is what you call dedication to the cause. Is this car even going to fit through here?
Well, yeah, you just left hand side, you're fine.
We've just been told by the lovely couple on a walk with their dog that up here we might have some Highland cows.
Right there.
Yeah. Now, how are we going to get there?
Dunno.
So we followed the signs to a beach that had Highland cows, which was a success, even though we couldn't get too close to them.
No.
However, as Luke put perfectly, as a side mission for the Defender, this little track shows just how versatile this is as a car, right? Because you've got the performance SUV luxury element. You can bomb around the likes of Chelsea, central London, or any sort of central city. Look the part, have that lovely V8 rumble. When I'm driving around Scotland, no matter how many times I come up to the Highlands, I always think, what is the perfect car for this trip? And I've always thought about Cayman GT4s and these small little fast sports cars. But in some instances, you do come across roads that have large divots, potholes and things like that. And then you're like, well, maybe an SUV is the right car. And this combines so many cars into one. And this is, I suppose, as worse as it can get. Basically, this kind of proves the point that you aren't limited to tarmac.
No.
In this car. Whereas when I'm thinking about, you'd want an RS3 or a GT4 or an Alpine A110, whatever. This is quite narrow tight.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, you got it.
I think I'm all right this side
Nice.
as well. In one.
In one.
No probs.
No.
It's that element of really being able to go anywhere in this car.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest pull.
And every single person which we've driven past has had a big look at the car.
And a massive smile on their face.
Massive smile.
No one's ever turned their nose up. They've asked questions about it. Oh, what are you guys up to? Like, firstly, you wouldn't be able to drive even a Lamborghini Urus down here.
No.
But even if you did, they'd probably look at that and be like, what's this guy doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, there's a different vibe to the Defender.
Yeah.
And
it's more accepting.
Yes.
Listen to that, everything cooling back down after we drove that road there. And this stretch is actually one of my favourite parts of Mull on the entire island for a number of reasons. One, I took one of my favourite iPhone shots ever on this stretch, and I think I'd park the car up here just like the Defender, which looks so rugged and cool. But this area as a whole is just so cool to look at, and you can spend hours staring into the abyss. And I think mountains are the only thing that are static that you could stare at all day. And right here and up in these cliffs are a pretty good place, so I've heard on the internet, to see golden eagles. So we're going to hang around here for about 20 minutes, maybe get some flybys. There's a car coming here doing a little bit of overlanding, and we're hopefully going to see some eagles. Luke is ringing up the bonnet because we've just changed location. We were down there where I said it is a pretty good spot to see golden eagles. However, I started to clock one. It landed about 1.5 kilometers away, right up in the mountains. I have no idea how I've still managed to keep it. I mean,
it's on that ledge, isn't it?
Well, there's two.
There's two on the ledge.
We've seen one float around, land on a rock, and then another one from a different location just popped up, floated around, and landed now on the same rock. So there are now two on one rock. We're just waiting for them to pop up, lift their heads,
It should appear.
and fancy a fly.
Yeah. Nice. We get on the camera.
To think that there are some really nice properties, these included, where
So nice.
they are beautiful. And that one over there's got a lot of glass on it, white with like a slate grey roof. Now I might have found a house that I can afford up here. That's one right there. Should be on Rightmove. Talking of going off the beaten track, by the looks of it, this road is about to end on the lock. So, as suggested, the Defender is ready for anything. And even if the tarmac ends, which according to Google Maps is about to, right about now, the Defender is so adventurous it builds tarmac in front of it. But somewhere like that, with the Defender outside the front, now that is a vibe. And when you look at the property prices, which I have done quite frequently, even in the build up to this trip, and when we get to lunch I might stop and have a look on Rightmove, what you can get value for money up here. I could probably get a nice house somewhere like this, super remote, in the wilderness. Look at this wooden place up
Really
here.
nice.
It's almost like this place in particular has already got like-minded people like me that want to build a modern house, bit of brick, bit of wood, loads of glass, stick a Defender outside the front, and then, I don't know, you could have a Cayman GT4, you could have a RS3, a hot hatch for the fun stuff. Oh, this is getting me thinking. I didn't think this video would go this way.
Moving to Scotland.
Yeah. I mean, I have considered it, but this is now, this car, in this environment, seeing these houses, is kind of putting all together this dream scenario that I'm actually getting quite excited about. It is 1 degree, our final morning here up in Scotland. The one shot that Luke wanted to get was a bit of fog, a moody shot of the Defender, so we decided to drive a 10-minute journey to Glen Nevis. Now what we have found is not just a bit of mist that is creeping through the glen, but a whole load of Highland cows. Luke, how excited are you?
I'm so excited. Why have we not been here before?
Yeah, I know. We've driven to Skye, to Mull. We've done nearly 1,300 miles in the Defender so far, and we've got these lousy images of Highland cows. But right now, they are in the field, next to the Defender, and Luke couldn't be happier. Back where it all began for me, up in Scotland and the Scottish Highlands in particular. We're back at the Cairngorms, and we have now racked up 1,300 miles with approximately 550, 600 miles to go back to London, where this car, sadly, will be heading back to Land Rover. But I've found a whole newfound love for the Defender. I've experienced this off-road, on-road, way before this trip. But the V8 has so much character, and I never really saw a purpose or a point to it until this trip. And I know I've mentioned the
MPG at 22.9, 23 isn't the best for cross country, but what this car has is a personality, but also an ability to bond with locals, be accepted anywhere we go, whether it's tarmac, dirt, grass, stone. We have covered it all up here in Scotland, and this has been without doubt the most rugged adventure I've been on. Me and Luke have had a phenomenal time. We've done Skye, Mull, 2 days in the Cairngorms, and spent hours in this car. We have used it as how it is intended to come out of Land Rover. No road and no stone has been unturned here in Scotland, and it just makes me fall in love with this car in this setting. And as we've discussed, some of the properties and property prices up here have really got me starting to think, is the south of the UK really where I want to spend the next 10, 15, 20 years of my life? Or could you come up where we've got buzzards over the ridge there and there hunting? We've seen golden eagles, we've seen sea eagles, we've seen all types of wildlife, and nearly ran over pheasants on this road here. And the wilderness and everything that you can connect to is so good for your mental health, for your well-being, and then just going out and doing a hike and being active. And I know we've been incredibly lucky with the weather, and 99% of the time it rains, it's sideways rain and wind. But up here, I'm at peace, I'm happy, and the Defender has played a massive role in that. So I hope you've enjoyed this extra long video on Supercars of London, and it's not a supercar in London, but when are my videos Supercars in London anymore, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you for watching, hope you've enjoyed this style of video, and I'll see you very soon for the next adventure. Goodbye. Well, to finish the video, and just after the outro, we decided to climb a mountain. I'm completely exhausted, but down there is a monster estate, and we have now got an entire 360-degree view of the Cairngorms to finish off this trip. Au revoir, guys, goodbye.